Going against the stream, it don't matter what race or creed or color. Love this land and you're my brother. That anyways, you know your stand. If you say you can't breathe, I'll show you we can. Ain't never gonna stop believing. We were born for freedom. We're born for freedom.
Hey, okay. Hey. So, all right. So, I'm at a restaurant right now. There's music playing in the background. The manager here is very, very cool. Made the best drink that I've had. Hello. Made the best drink that I've had since I've moved to Austin. So, happy to finally get a good drink here. An actual craft cocktail. But anyway, I hope you guys can hear me. This is going to be recorded and posted on Red Pill Rage Rumble page. I don't want to shout. I'll quiet down when the manager stops talking so loud. But anyway, I'm going to do my best. Today we're going to talk about my meetup group, because I feel like you guys out in Rumble Land and Instagram, you don't know what I've been doing. And I've just started. So it's quiet down now. So I've just started, and I'm been wondering, you guys know what a frustrated Republican I am. So you also know how disenfranchised I've been with the movement, and just feeling like nobody's doing anything, nobody's bringing any action items to the table. We're not experiencing the leadership from top to bottom that we need to be experiencing in order for everything, to get back to where we need it to be. Oh, hey. There we go. All right, that's better. There we go. Ooh, it's even got a filter now. Hi.
Thank you, sir. You have a good afternoon. Come back and see us again.
I'm going to keep this as short as I can. I'm going to keep this as short and sweet as I can. So anyway, everybody, hi. I see you down there. I'm going to bring you in if you want, but let me just get through the topic so we all know what we're talking about here. So, I mean, it's no joke that I'm completely frustrated and irritated with the movement. There's no leadership, there's no directives, there's no action items coming from anybody. I mean, I know one person that they've been coming from, and, most Republicans seem to hate him. So at this point, there's nothing we can do. But I have always been really impressed with Chad Prather, and I've always been really impressed with the fact that he's been consistent. He's never gotten into any internet beefs. He's never gotten into any scandals. I feel like he's been really pure since the beginning. And I've always respected Scott because he's always been in the streets. And that's where I wanted to be. I never... Oh, okay. I guess we have commentary. I'm talking too loud. But anyway, everything is just completely out of whack. Everything's completely upside down. We don't have any cohesion. Everybody talks shit about each other. And Chad Prather has been the only one since day one that's been the same. So, I tried to, so I reached out, and I'm going to get to why I started this meetup in a second. But I reached out to Scott, and he has some people here in Texas that are doing some voter registration, which is what I can actually get behind. And it's actual movement. It's actual work. It's actual it's debatable how much of a difference it makes, but let's just say if the Democrats are doing it, we should be doing it too, right? That's just how I feel. You got to fight fire with fire, and there is no fire in the movement. There is no fire in the movement, and it scares me. And while it should be getting stronger and stronger and stronger, it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. We're all like a bunch of chickens with our heads cut off, you know. But then there's Jenny, right? Then there's me. Then there's this crazy party girl from California, a chef, who just happened to decide to start making some videos and just happened to start getting out there, right? And it's been an incredible experience. 2020 was a crazy year for me. 2021 was even crazier. I've needed a lot of time to kind of wrap my head around what and who can be trusted, and learning to be less gullible, learning to be less willing to just get behind anything and anyone, because I'm so hungry for there to be action, and I'm so hungry for there to be movement within the movement, right? So I'm not going to drop any names right now, but I mean, I've made videos about individuals that have fucked me over, and it's not something I dwell on, but we all need to be careful, and we need to realize that we can't look to the outside. We can't look to the internet. We can't look to YouTube to give us the type of activists that we need to start making movement and start taking action in our communities, right? We can't look. There's nobody. There's fucking nobody. And that's just a fact. So nonetheless, getting back to Scott Presler. Scott Presler, I have a lot of respect for, and I like the community work that he's doing. I like the cleanups that he's doing. I like the voter registration that he's doing. I like the interest in what you would call quote unquote minority groups that he's doing in terms of getting the Amish signed up and doing a lot of work in Pennsylvania and just everything. And it's like, there's no reason that I can't do that here in Texas. There's no reason that that each and every one of us can't do that wherever we live, right? So y'all know I don't have a lot of respect for a lot of people. Y'all know how I am. But, you know, what Scott is doing has been the most consistent model that I've seen on our side of the movement. So, with that being said, let me tell you a little bit about meetups, okay? And then it'll all tie together, okay? So the thing about, I've been to a lot of meetups here in Austin, and I don't like most of them, right? And I remember going to one of the Patriot groups maybe 6-7 months ago, and it was horrible. There aren't very many meetups in Austin that are not successful, because everyone here likes to drink, right? So if there's not alcohol involved, people generally don't want to come to meetups. Even some of the like Austin run clubs and athletic clubs, it's like they all drink beers afterward. It's been really, really hard to socialize here, you know, and it's not because I don't like alcohol. I mean, obviously I do like certain quality adult beverages, but at the end of the day, it just seems like a lot of these meetups are either you go to the meetup and nobody's there, or you go to the meetup and whatever the topic of conversation or the topic of event it's supposed to be, it's not really that. Or you go to the meetup and it's just a bunch of fucking weirdos and nobody's talking to each other and nobody's friendly and it's all awkward and it's all like spectrum people and, you know, socially awkward weirdos. You know, I mean, just all the people who couldn't make it in Silicon Valley are here in Austin, Texas, right? So all the people I tried to get away from are here in Austin, Texas, and that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not judging. It's totally cool. I love it here. This is like the happiest place I've ever lived. Like there's something magical about this place. It's so beautiful here. It's almost like Northern California, Berkeley, Lake Tahoe. So I'm not complaining. But then there's the Travis County GOP, right? And it's like none of them. Thank you, sir. Just so we're clear. In case some shit pops off, you know. In case some shit pops off. He's homeless, clearly. He was sitting in the corner talking to himself this whole time anyway. And then he just got in our conversation, which is fine. But anyway, all these meetups were like so bad. They're all so bad. So I started my own, and one of them I started was the Ultra MAGA ATX meetup. So yes, I have a whole bunch of ideas. I have a whole bunch of like service-oriented things that I want to do, but it all has to revolve around voter registration. It all has to revolve around the community. It all has to revolve around giving respect to the, I mean, not that I'm very good at that, but giving respect to, you know, the environment that's here and the people that are here and how they do things, right? And, you know, I would love to do, you know, I want to do cleanups. I want to do, you know, cleanups at the river. I want to do Back the Blue Day. I want to do Chip Roy Day. I want to do something to get involved with Ted Cruz's campaign. But everything that I do has to revolve around voter registration. So that is what today's topic is how to become a voter registrar. If you are interested in joining the Ultra MAGA meetup and you're watching this video, I am going to tell you how to do this so that we don't even need to discuss this. If you ever decide to get involved and actually come to one of the many events that I'm planning this year, I'm planning to do at least 2 a month, okay? And I work a very tight schedule. I work almost 60 hours a week. So I don't have time to waste. And I'm going to do these things with or without the support of anyone else. And I'm totally okay with that because I've been doing things by myself as an activist since day one, and it hasn't changed. So it's not a big deal. So getting into voter registration, there is a wonderful video that has been made for us by Travis County. And as we are watching this video, what I want us all to remember is that it may, if you are watching from another county, it may be different for your county, but I want you to understand that most of it is going to be very, very similar. So without further ado, I am going to link this to myself. Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry, we're in the mobile office. So, you know how it is.
Hey, how you doing? Let me know whenever you're ready to order it, okay?
All right, so what's great about Travis County is they have all of this set up. It's an 18-minute video. I've been talking for 14 minutes. So like I promised you guys, we're going to keep this short and sweet. It's going to be a 45-minute Zoom call. We might even wrap it up before then, but I want to make sure that you know the most important thing about joining my group, about joining my meetup, is that you have to be a voter registrar. You have to be a volunteer voter registrar. If you're not going to do that, if you're not going to put 18 minutes into keeping Texas red, if you're not going to put 18 minutes into doing everything we can to fight tooth and nail to get Trump back in office, then as harsh and condescending as this may sound, you don't need to come around me. Because if you want to just complain about Joe Biden and complain about the radical left and complain about communism, but you don't want to get involved, Jenny Red Pill Rage is not the place for you. And the Ultra MAGA meetup is not the place for you, because we're going to be moving and shaking. We're going to be in the community. We're going to be doing fun stuff. We're going to be doing positive stuff. And all the while, we're always going to have our paperwork ready to sign up voters in the street, on the street, in Austin, Texas, in Travis County. Okay, so let me share my screen, and then we can go from there. All right. So, first thing you're going to do the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put in your email. So I'll do redpillrage@protonmail.com. And here we go. So I am going to take myself out of the video. We are going to listen to this video, all 18 minutes of it. And then by the end of this 18 minutes, you are going to go to your county and you are going to become a volunteer deputy registrar in your county, okay? And we're going to do it so quick and it's so easy. A 10-year-old could do this. So there should be no excuse for any of us to be doing this. All right, let's go.
Welcome to the Travis County Deputy Voter Registrar Training for the 2023-2024 cycle. Whether you live here in Travis County, Central Texas, or anywhere in the state, we are pleased to provide you this training opportunity. Currently, there is no online voter registration in the state of Texas, so we rely on volunteer deputy registrars like you to keep the community registered. A volunteer deputy registrar, or VDR, is a volunteer who registers voters in the state of Texas. VDRs are appointed by the county voter registrar, are citizens of the United States and Texas residents 18 years of age or older. VDRs cannot be convicted of a felony, or if convicted, they must be off paper, and they cannot be determined to be totally or partially mentally incapacitated without the right to vote by a judge. VDRs can only register voters in the county or counties in which they have been appointed. Upon successful completion of this course, you will be certified in the county of Travis. Want to be a VDR in another Texas county? Contact the voter registration office in the county of interest. They will inform you of their reciprocal certification process. Often they will require you to show them a copy of your certification, but different counties may vary in their qualifications. The Secretary of State's office requires that all Texas counties recognize current VDR training for reciprocity purposes. The service term of a VDR begins when you are awarded your certificate of appointment and expires on December 31st of every even-numbered year. This expiration date is the same for all VDRs. Let's go over the duties of a VDR. Offer a voter registration application to any eligible Travis County resident. A good question to ask is, are you registered to vote at your current address? Voter registration will be automatically renewed every even number year unless the voter moves to another address or the voter is convicted of a felony and has not yet completed their sentence to become off paper. Assist each person in completing the application and answer any questions they may have. Review the completed signed application. Be sure to correct any errors or obtain any missing information. Complete the receipt at the bottom of the form and give it to the applicant. Suggest that they keep the receipt until receiving their certificate in the mail. Inform the applicant that their registration status will become effective 30 days from the date of registration and that our certificates are mailed monthly. In summary, offer voter registration to anyone and to everyone. Team up with other VDRs in order to register more voters. Assist the applicant in filling out the application if they request help, and please keep track of your completed applications until you return them to our office. Let's go over the requirements for voter registration in Texas. An applicant registering to vote in Texas must be a citizen of the United States and a Texas resident. They must be at least 17 years and 10 months old to register to vote. They must be 18 on election day in order to vote in an election, but they can register to vote when they're 17 years and 10 months old. An applicant registering to vote in Texas must not be convicted of a felony, or if convicted, they must be off paper, and they must not be determined to be totally or partially mentally incapacitated without the right to vote by a judge. Do not attempt to determine if someone is legally allowed to vote. We have a saying here in the voter registration office: when in doubt, fill it out. If a resident is unsure of their registration status, or if they're unsure if they are registered to vote at their current address, encourage them to fill out an application with you. A card filled out for any reason will generate a new card, and there is no penalty for filling out an application if you are already registered. The Secretary of State's VDR application can be used in one of three ways: either to register a voter for the first time as a new voter, to update the name and address on a voter's registration record, or to request a replacement voter registration certificate. VDRs will use this form when registering applicants to vote. The VDR will be responsible for returning this form into the county voter registrar. A completed form filled out for any reason will generate a new voter registration certificate for the applicant. Answer any questions the applicant may have. Some fields are required while others are optional. Two optional fields are the phone number and the gender. You cannot suggest that the applicant answer these questions. We will review the required fields. Section 1 establishes eligibility. The citizenship question must be answered. The applicant must check either yes or no, and in Section 1, this is the only required field. Section 2 is for the applicant's legal name, as it appears on their government-issued ID, either their Texas driver's license, their Texas personal ID card, their Social Security card. This legal name could differ from their signature or name. Section 3 is for the address, the residence address, the address that the person lives, where they lay their head at night. Remember apartment numbers. P.O. boxes and rural addresses are not acceptable for the residence address. This is a required field, even if the mailing address section has been completed. The mailing address section is optional and is only needed if the residence address and the mailing address are not the same. The mailing address can be a P.O. box. The date of birth must include the month, the day, and the year the applicant was born. Make sure that they are providing their birth date and not today's date. An applicant must provide either their 8-digit Texas driver's license or Texas personal ID number, or the last 4 digits of their Social Security number. If they do not possess either, have them check the box to indicate that they have not been issued either type of ID. The applicant must sign the application in order to confirm their voter registration. Any mark is acceptable for the signature. You cannot sign the application for the voter, and the date is necessary because it determines the date the applicant applied. Review the application in front of the applicant. Provide your VDR number in the deputy number field and sign and date the application. The VDR receipt. Print the name of the applicant. Print and sign your name. In Travis County, there is no receipt number. Please leave this box blank or write in a date the receipt. Cut or tear the receipt portion and give it to the applicant. Tell the applicant to keep their receipt until they receive their voter registration card in the mail. Their registration will become effective in 30 days. One of the questions we get in voter registration is, can I be partisan when I register voters? And our answer is yes, but with some qualifications. If you are registering voters under the banner of Travis County Voter Registration or another nonpartisan group, you cannot be partisan. If you register voters on your own or with a political campaign, you can be partisan. However, you must register everyone to vote, regardless of party affiliation, even if you're working on a campaign or with a political organization. There are 3 types of relationships that can register a resident to vote on their behalf. These are called agents. The only 3 relationships are parent, child, and spouse. Agents register on behalf of the resident with their permission. They will complete the form and sign and date the application and indicate their relationship to the applicant. We've talked about the application that voters fill out with a VDR and are given a receipt. There are other applications that voters can use to register to vote. VDRs can distribute walkaway mail-in applications to residents that either don't have time to register with a VDR or reside in a county the VDR is not certified in. Travis County applications are addressed to our office. You can hand them out to people who don't have time to register with you and they want to fill it out and mail it in themselves. They will mail the applications themselves and you cannot mail it in for them. The Secretary of State's office also provides applications addressed to their office. These are for VDRs to hand out to residents in counties in which the VDR is not certified. The applicant must fill out the form and mail it in themselves. Do not mail in the application on behalf of the applicant. It's important to remember that turning in a mail-in form for an applicant will serve as grounds for termination of the VDR certification. This applies to both Travis County and the Secretary of State mail-in forms. Every card, every time is another motto we have at voter registration. Every application completed with you must be returned to our office. Dropping off forms and supplies. In the summer of 2022, our office moved to 2433 Ridgepoint Drive, which is located at the corner of 183 and 290. We are located on the second floor. Take the elevator to the second floor, and we are located to the right of the elevator. We have a drop box at the main office. If you go to the main entrance and you go to the right, there's a drop box that says voter registration applications here. And you just need to put those applications right in the drop box. They are 24/7. Our satellite offices around the county also have drop boxes. A list of the satellite offices will be included in your welcome information. Returning completed applications. The VDR must drop off their completed and incomplete applications within 5 days of their event. If an applicant is registering with you on Monday, it is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday, you need to have returned those applications. They are actual days, not business days. The applications must be returned the day after a voter registration deadline by 5 p.m. Voters must be registered 30 days in advance of an election, and that is what determines the voter registration deadline. We will let you know when upcoming voter registration deadlines are looming so you can make sure that you returned all your voter registration applications before the deadline. Any VDR can drop off applications, not necessarily the VDR who signed the form, but only VDRs can drop off applications. So if I'm working with a group of VDRs, my fellow VDR can drop off my applications, but I cannot give my applications to a non-VDR for drop off on my behalf. VDRs are our civic ambassadors to the community, and accepting these duties places you in a position of trust to the people you will register. You should not attempt to determine if someone is legally allowed to vote. Our office will do that when the verification process begins. Do not appoint others to be VDRs. Only the county voter registrar's office can do so. Do not sign the application on behalf of the applicant. Do not keep scans or copies of voter registration applications that you collect. Your appointment as a VDR may be terminated by the appointing authority if you fail to review a voter registration application properly, intentionally destroyed or physically altered a registration application, or engaged in any other activity that conflicts with your responsibilities as a VDR. A VDR will be terminated by the appointing authority if they are finally convicted of an offense under the law related to the delivery of completed applications to the registrar. or if they are convicted of an offense under the law related to performance-based compensation for voter registration. When registering people to vote, you cannot offer them something of value in exchange for voter registration. So if you are doing a voter registration drive and you are giving out cupcakes, you must give out cupcakes to everyone, regardless of whether or not they registered to vote. Keeping the community registered. We register all eligible residents in the community, but there are certain groups that might have special questions or special circumstances, and we want to make sure that you have the correct information. People who have been convicted of a felony who are off paper, meaning they fully discharged their felony conviction in Texas, can apply to have their voting rights restored. Applicants who have finished their terms of punishment, completed their probation, and are no longer on supervision are considered off paper. Most people in these situations know what you mean by off paper. If they are unsure, advise them to contact their parole officer or their lawyer. Do not register voters if they are still on paper because we don't want to put them in a position where they may be in legal jeopardy. People can register to vote even if they are experiencing homelessness. Use an intersection or an address that they stay at consistently when filling out the residence address. We supply a list of P.O. boxes with shelters that can be used as mailing addresses. College students can register to vote just like anyone else. However, they have the option of registering to vote either at the address that they currently live or the address of where they consider their hometown. They can choose to register at either of these addresses, but not both. If someone has a disability, they may require assistance either going to the polls or filling out forms. If they need assistance filling out a voter registration form, you can assist them. But make sure that they sign the form after it is filled out and reviewed with them. If an agent fills out the application, they need to sign it and label it with their signature and relationship to the applicant. When registering people to vote, you may encounter some election questions. One of the most common questions is, what type of photo ID do I need to use to vote? We provide a list of voter IDs that are acceptable in Texas. Two of the most common are the Texas driver's license and the U.S. passport, but there are 7 different types. If a voter does not have one of the approved forms of photo ID, they can still vote. They will provide what we call a supporting document and fill out a reasonable impediment declaration. A reasonable impediment declaration simply says that they have an impediment to getting one of those forms of photo ID. VoteTravis.com is the website we run with Travis County elections. This includes information on voter.
I just wanted to interject right there and mention that this right here, this proves how easy it is to register to vote in Texas. So 2 years ago, when Beto was talking all that shit, saying how this is the hardest state to register to vote in, let's just remember that 2 years ago, I registered to vote like the day before the deadline. Okay. I showed up to my polling place with a California ID and a bank statement, and they let me vote in Texas. Okay. And this right here basically proves how easy and accessible that they make it for everyone, because you don't even have to have an idea. You can have a reasonable, reasonable inconvenience. What do they call it? Reasonable whatever. You can basically have any reason not to have an ID and still vote. So everything Beto said about that was a lie. Just wanted to interject that.
Voter registration and the elections division. So we direct voters to this site. We've gone over all kinds of voter registration information, and now it's time to test your knowledge. Simply take this quiz and receive an 80% or higher in order to register to become a certified Travis County VDR.
And that's it. That's how you become a volunteer deputy registrar or voter registrar. Anybody can watch that video. So here's my message to all the armchair patriots. That video was 18 minutes. You can give 18 minutes. You can give 18 minutes to your country. Okay? You can give 18 minutes to your country. The questionnaire, I believe, was 25 questions, and you only needed to get like an 80%. Okay? So this should all be really simple. And I'll just kind of use this as the training video that'll be up on the meetup link. I don't care if you guys don't like my personality. Nobody else is me. Nobody else does what I do. Nobody else is as bold as I am. Nobody else has as much courage as I do. Very, very few people do. Very few. There are those, but very few. So understand that my meetup group is not a meetup group for individuals who just want to get drunk and talk shit. Okay? My meetup group is for individuals who want to get their deputy voter registrar certificate, and they want to be involved in the community. Okay? So that's who my group is for. So if that's you, come on board. And if that's not you, there is the hi. Oh, thank you so much.
Let me know how that is. Sangria.
Oh, thank you so much. Ooh, this will be my last one. If that's not you, that's fine. You know, am I judging you? Yes. But do I care? No. I just would love to see more people put skin in the game. That's it. I would just love to see more people put skin in the game. I don't think that that is an unreasonable frustration. And if you know that you are not somebody who's ever going to put skin in the game, you don't need to talk to Jenny. You don't need to join my group. But if you want to, or if you want to learn, or if you want to get involved, or if you want to sign up voters, or if you want to do fun stuff around Austin, I am your certified party girl for that. I'm your certified party girl. I'm an old school party girl from the 90s. I promise you, I am so nice and I am so much fun, but you've got to understand business comes first, okay? The movement comes first. So with that being said, thank you all. And I'll be posting this on my Rumble channel, and you guys can all watch it, and you will be damn near trained. And then you can get your certification, not from me, but from Travis County Election Board. And I'll put the link in there for that. And then whatever community that you're a part of, if you want to become a voter registrar, I suggest you, I will help you get your certification. I will do anything I can to support you to get your certification wherever you live. So all you got to do is just ask me questions and I'll be there for you. But if you just want to drink and get drunk and talk about, you know, the radical left and you don't want to do shit, then I'm not somebody you want to deal with. Okay? So thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time, and look forward to the next meeting, which will be in a month. But I'm going to be posting another flash mob so that we can start signing up some voters.